All right, let's talk about something that can literally make or break a fitness business: building that A team. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of putting together a truly top tier staff right from the ground up.
So maybe you're dreaming of opening your own place, right? You've got the vision, maybe even the blueprints. You're picturing all the best equipment, the perfect layout. But what's the one thing that's going to matter more than anything else? Yeah, it's not the fancy treadmills or the shiny new squat racks. Those are great, but your real most important asset? It's the people. The quality of your staff, the team you build. That is what will set you apart and define your success. Period. Okay, so before you even think about throwing a job ad up on the internet, you gotta have a plan, a blueprint. The very first step is to take a hard, strategic look at what your facility actually needs to run like a well-oiled machine. So what exactly dictates those needs? Well, according to the ACSM guidelines, it boils down to these 5 key things. Think about it. How big is your gym? That's going to tell you how many members you can handle. What kind of services are you offering? More classes? Well, that means more instructors. Are you open 24/7? You'll need multiple shifts. All of this stuff, and especially your budget, is going to directly shape what your team looks like. All right, once you've got that blueprint figured out, it's time for the fun part: sketching out the players on your team. So, who are the core people you need to make a fitness business successful? These are the classic roles you'll see in pretty much any facility. You've got your managers and supervisors, kind of the coaches of the team, setting the strategy. Then you have your specialists, your trainers and instructors. They're the face of your business, the ones getting results for your members. And you can't forget the support staff. They're the ones keeping the whole thing running smoothly behind the scenes. Absolutely crucial. Okay, now we're getting to the really critical part. How in the world do you know who's actually qualified? Let's break down the credentials that separate the real pros from the rest. I mean, it really all comes down to this one question, doesn't it? Look, anyone can love working out, but what makes someone a professional? Someone you can actually trust with your client's health and safety? Well, it's a mix of 3 things: the right education, legit certifications, and real-world, hands-on experience. Let's get really specific here. Let's take the role of a group exercise director. The recommended starting point? At least 2 years of education after high school in a related field. See, this shows it's not just a hobby, it's a profession that needs a solid educational foundation. But check this out. Look closely at the certification part. It's not just any old certification. The key words here are current and from an NCCA accredited program. That accreditation, that's your seal of approval. It means the certification itself is legit and has high standards. And of course, there's experience. I mean, you can't really lead a team of instructors if you've never been in their shoes, right? That's why they recommend a minimum of 3 years of hands-on experience before someone steps into a leadership role like this. Okay, awesome. Now let's switch gears to another absolute cornerstone of any gym and see how these standards apply. What about the personal trainer? This is a great example of how the standards are tiered. For a personal trainer, a high school diploma is the minimum, but you'll see that 2 years of college is recommended. And there it is again, that call for a nationally recognized accredited certification. And while you might hire someone who's just starting out, a good 6 months of experience is preferred. That way, you know they can actually work with clients effectively from day one. All right, so now you know what you're looking for. You know what makes a pro a pro. But how do you actually find these people and get them on your team? Well, for that, you need a playbook. And here it is, a super clear 7-step hiring playbook. It takes you all the way from writing the job description to background checks and finally getting them onboarded. Now, following a process like this isn't just about red tape. It's how you avoid making really expensive hiring mistakes. It's how you find the perfect fit. Let's just zoom in on that very first step, because it's so important. A killer job description is your foundation. It's got to be crystal clear about the title, what they'll be doing, and all those qualifications we just talked about. But you also need the practical stuff in there, like physical requirements, what you're paying, and the schedule. That's how you get the right people to apply in the first place. Okay, having a great general team is awesome. But if you really want to serve your whole community, you've got to think about specialists. Let's talk about hiring experts who can help members with very specific, unique needs. And this right here is a perfect example of why this is so important. If you want to help clients who are recovering from certain diseases, an ACE medical exercise specialist is your go-to. For people who are rehabbing under a doctor's care, you need an ACSM clinical exercise physiologist. And for injury prevention, an NASM corrective exercise specialist has that specialized knowledge. Having these pros on your team means you can help a much wider range of people, many of whom need it the most.
So, let's end with a little food for thought. Whether you own a gym, manage one, or you're just a member, take a look around next time you're there and ask yourself this: is this team really built on a foundation of excellence? Because at the end of the day, that foundation, well, it's everything.